Everybody doing? I guess, and I hope and I pray that you all had a great start to our training year of 2023. You stay disciplined, you stay committed, you traded your plans and you stick to your plans and you never went against your training plans and you forever kept the discipline. That's your boy Harlem and I'm back with another video. There's gonna be our outlook, our first ever outlook for 2023. I hope and I put some game to anyone, but financial advice and disclaimer. This ain't financial advice. Everything I say you do might be based off my own experience. Nasdaq might do it, Nasdaq might not, gold might do it, gold might not, oil might, Bitcoin might not. It's just my own opinion and my own experience. But all I can share and all I can say is the market conditions haven't been beautiful or they haven't been tradable since the year started. But all we can manage to do is to just work on what we have, capitalize from what we see, and move with what we're working on. So looking at the structure of the NAS, we can see that like price is still in a sideways movement. So obviously, like I always say, when price moves sideways, there's nothing for me to say or to do. But at the same time, the only thing I'm focusing on is this intraday highs and then in this intraday lows. This is more like the same thing. Because price is moving sideways on the zone, it broke out and it broke back in and it broke out and it broke out again, it broke out again, and it broke out again. So what I'm focusing on now is to either price to break out and retest and continue to the upside, or to break back in, retest below, and continue to the downside. Because those are the only two things which I can say right now about the NAS. Price is moving sideways. Price is rejecting this intraday highs. Prices rejecting this intraday highs. You can tell what happened on Friday before we closed the week. Price tried attempting pushing to the upside and failed, gave us a rejection and a small body close. So what I'll be looking for is for either price to break the highs or break back in our intraday resistance. So my trade idea is we continue bullish above intraday highs. Like once price breaks this intraday highs, we continue bullish. But once price breaks back in and trades below our resistance, we look to be bearish. That will be my take on the NAS. I'm not looking for much. I'm not looking for less, because price is still in a sideways movement. So with the sideways movement, there's nothing for me to say or to do until I get an overall breakout, either to the upside, no, to the downside. Looking at gold, we can say that like the structure of gold, we're still moving in high highs and in higher lows. Understand? So looking at this current price, okay, let's look at history first. So price once created this resistance right there. Price once created this resistance, which led price pushing to the downside, giving us this all-time lows, and attempting to push to the upside. So all I can say right now is, because now price at a double bottom, price at a higher high, price at a higher low right there, and a higher high and a higher low with a double bottom, pushing to the upside, breaking the previous higher high. So what I'll be looking for, what I'll be expecting, is for price to either continue to the upside, breaking that resistance with a retest for continuation to the upside. Once price fails to break the zone, then I'll start looking for that bear reversal based on price having a previous resistance, coming back to the previous resistance, failing to break the previous resistance, looking for those continuations to the downside. So my trade idea is we either continue with our higher high, higher low behavior, or break the highs or fail to break the highs. So when we continue with our higher high, higher low, then I actually mean that, like, obviously, once we had a higher high and a higher low, higher high, we might print out a higher low, break off the high, break off the resistance, new higher high, retest higher low, and a continuation to the upside. Or once we break the highs, break out, retest, we still continue to the upside. Or once price fails to break the zone, we start looking forward for those bear reversals to the downside. That will be my take on gold. I'm also not looking for much and I'm not looking for less. I'm just waiting for price to break the highs or for price to fail to break the highs, and that will be my take. German 30 is kind of like simple. Simple, simple, simple. German 30, we're on our major resistance. We're on our major resistance right there. You can tell the like price has been bouncing off the zone for some couple of times, right? And price came back right there, pushed to the downside, came back again right there to end the week. So I would be looking for two things: breakout retest, continue to the upside, fail to break, we start looking for those reversals to the downside. Like I say, we bullish at breakout. Once we have this break of the resistance, we continue to the upside. But once price fails to break, we look for those reversals to the downside. That will also be my take on German 30. Looking at US 30. So US 30, we have a close above our intraday, our sideways, our range. And the semi price has been moving sideways until we get an overall breakout. So obviously, with a break, we wait for a retest and continue to the upside, right? That's it. That's clean. That's simple. And that's just price action, right? Price broke out. Price has been holding the zone sideways, right? Until we have a breakout. So from a breakout, we need to come back to the zone to respect it or to retest the zone and continue to the upside. Understand me? So my trade idea is we simply wait for a retest of resistance to continue bullish. This is our resistance. This is our resistance right there. We simply wait for price to retest and continue to the upside. Understand me? And on our hourly, we would have a potential double bottom at retest of what? Of resistance. I won't go to the hourly time frame. You will have to find it yourself. We're helping each other right here, right? I'm telling you what I see. You need to go and look for it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. I'm not a market maker. I'm not a market mover, right? So like I say, we resistance. We continue bullish once price comes back for a retest and continue to the upside. But once price breaks back in, like once price does what? Breaks back in and a retest below, then we continue to the downside, looking for those big reversals to the downside. So that's my take on US 30. I'm just simply waiting for a retest of the resistance to continue bullish. Sorry about that. USD CAD. USD CAD has also been moving sideways for some time, right? Until price broke out, broke back in, broke out again to end the week. So I printed this double bottom right there because price once had a double bottom and pushed to the upside. We might potentially come back to the zone and push again to the upside or break out. But what I'm looking for, or what I'm focusing on, is for this current market price behavior. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Understand me? So price broke out of the zone, right? The only thing I'm waiting for is for what? For retest of the zone to continue to the downside. That's it. That's plain simple. I'm not looking for much and I'm not looking for less, unless price breaks the lows, retest, and continue to the upside, to the downside. You understand? So my trade idea is we wait for a retest of lower low. This is the lower low to continue bearish with behavior. Like I say, lower low, lower high, lower low, retest, lower high, and continue moving to the downside, looking for those potential lower lows, for those new lows. So that's my take on USD CAD. Like I said, market conditions haven't been moving quite beautiful. Understand me? So I'm either waiting for price to retest the zone, continue to the downside, or I'll just wait for price to push to the downside, hold this resistance, hold the support, and start looking for those upward moves to the upside. So that's my take on USD CAD. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla, I would say we're having a potential falling wedge right there. So once we're having a potential falling wedge, looking at history, looking at my history right there, you can see that like price once had a push and a correction, break, retest, continuing to the upside. So this is an important zone for me. Understand me? This zone is important for me. Understand me? So, and you can tell that like price has been holding this zone, breaking out, breaking in, breaking out, breaking in. So once I sense, or once I see this potential rising wedge, the only thing I'd be waiting for is for price to break the highs. Price needs to simply break the highs to confirm this potential rising wedge. Understand me? Something like this. Boom, 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 right there. From where breaking this high or this high. That will be my take. I'm also not looking for much and I'm also not looking for less. And this is the 1 hour falling wedge that I see, because on the 4 hour, I don't have a trade idea at the moment. I only see this potential rising wedge, this potential falling wedge from the hourly time frame. I won't go to the hourly time frame. Like I said, we're helping each other. Help me to help you see things that I see, so you can also understand them the way I also understand them. So that will be my take on Tesla. Looking at Bitcoin. So when you look at Bitcoin has been moving sideways for some time. It's also what, a no-go zone for me, right? It's also a no-go zone for me. But the only thing I'm focusing on, because we have a resistance, we have a key level, and we have some sort of support right there. Understand me? So price is moving sideways in our resistance right there. Price is holding our resistance. It broke out and it broke again. Once price fails to break the zone, then let's start looking for those bear moves to the downside. But once we get a breakup, let's continue moving to the upside. That will be my take. But at the end of the day, or the overall movement, we still are in a sideways movement. I don't trade sideways movement. Ethereum, there's just nothing for me to do, man. There's just nothing for me to do, because price has been pushing, correcting, pushing, correcting, pushing, correcting. You might potentially have a push again. But how price is moving, I don't like it, right? Push, exhaustion, push, exhaustion, push, exhaustion. You might have a potential push right there. So I don't have a trade idea on Ethereum. There's nothing for me to say. There's nothing for me to do. I move. Litecoin, because a nigga lab to lit. Litecoin was still trading above our major sell zone. You understand me? We're still trading above our major sell zone. So obviously, once you trade above resistance, you continue to the upside. Once you trade below resistance, you continue to the downside. Those are the only two things I'll try to put game on with someone. You understand me? We're trading above our major resistance, right? We either look forward for continuation to the upside or continuation to the downside. Above or below, it entirely depends on where price will be trading at that time. Last but not least, we're having oil. Oil, I see a potential bear flag, right? Because you can also tell with our structure that like oil is still in a bear move. Price had a double bottom right there. Understand me? Price had a double bottom, which led price pushing to the downside. Understand me? Let's look at history first. Let's look at history. Yeah, you can tell that like price created out some sort of resistance right there. Some sort of resistance, 2021. Price had some sort of resistance till it did what, broke out and came back for a retest and led price giving us this new all-time highs from this very same zone, right? So now price coming back to this very same zone, man, this means a lot. So with a bear flag, so with this push and this correction or this exhaustion, right? The only thing, guys, that I'm waiting for is for what? For break and retest and continue to the downside with the what? With our overall bear flag putting. Or once price fails to break the zone, then we simply look for what? For bear depletion and bullish momentum. I repeat, price is in a bear flag right there. The only thing I'm waiting for is for a break, retest to continue to the downside, right? Or as price holds this zone right there, this previous intraday resistance, then I'd be looking forward for the bear depletion and the bullish momentum. And that will be my take. So my trade idea is I'm looking for a potential bear flag. Once price breaks the lows, we continue bearish. With the fail to break, we look for those bullish reversals, right? So that's it. That's my take. Like I repeat, market conditions haven't been beautiful or tradable. But what we can manage to do is to just work on what we see, work on what we have, and move with what we're working on. So that's all I got on this video, people. That's all I got on this video. I hope that we all enjoy it, and I hope that someone got some game into this. I woke up right now. I'm still tired, but it's time for me to work out. So I don't have time to sleep or time to procrastinate. I'm gonna change my clothes right there, put on my gym clothes, and I'm gonna be out. That's all I got on this video, people.